Alright guys, today we got the next comparison that was requested, the S22 versus the A56. And you can find an S22 Plus here for around less than $300 in excellent condition these days, Amazon, eBay. And the A56 is new, you can find it $400. So which one is better, the old flagship or the new mid-range here? So first off, the designs on both these phones still look great. I really like the designs on both. I think the S22 and 21 series is probably, some of my favorite designs from Samsung with their flagship lineup. The A56 doesn't look bad at all. I do like the little camera ring that they put on here as well too. And you do get some really cool colors with it as well. I think the S22 is definitely a bit more comfortable to hold. These sides aren't as sharp or like squared off as the A56, so it just is overall to me a more comfortable phone to hold. You have a matte finish on the S22 versus the glossy finish, which always looks great. You don't really see fingerprint smudges on this phone. I never really wiped it down because of this color pretty much, so that's really nice. And they're both made out of premium material, glass and metal. And the thing here is that you do have IP68 on the S22 versus the IP67 on the A56. But besides that, the A56 is definitely a little bit bigger than the S22 Plus here for sure. As far as the displays go, you have a 6.6 inch dynamic AMOLED display. It's 120 Hz HDR10 Plus on the S22 Plus. It is a 1750 nits peak brightness. It is 1080p and it is 393 for the PPI with Gorilla Glass Victus here. Now you do have the Super AMOLED display, which is Samsung's older display, and it is 120 Hz as well. It's HDR10 Plus. It actually does have a higher max brightness at 1900 nits, and then you also do have a 6.7 inch 1080p display. 385 for the PPI. They both have the Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. Looking at both displays here, the S22 Plus definitely has the better display in the more vibrant and just nice looking colors. And then you also do have much slimmer bezels on the S22 Plus as well, so it is visually more appealing as far as the display design goes. The A56 is not bad at all for a mid-range device here. I really don't have any issues with the panel. Besides that, I just like the more vivid colors. But besides that, the A56 display is not that bad, and it is actually just a little bit brighter outdoors than the S22 Plus. So besides that, there's really not too much of a difference with these two panels here. A56 has the Android 15 already on it. It will get 6 years of majorOS updates. You also have the Exynos 1580, and then you also have 128 gigs and 8 gigs of RAM as well. You guys can see the score difference here. And honestly, both phones are pretty much on par with each other. All right, let's see how our app loading and animations look here. See which one is a little bit quicker. That looks like the exact same time. Very nice. Again, it's a very subtle thing with the One UI animations, One UI 7. I'm really impressed. Been using it on the S25, and the A56 is pretty much feels just as good. It feels exactly like a S25 actually. That's how good these One UI 7 animations are. But as you guys can see, the S22 still looks to be just a tad bit quicker than the A56 here. A56 is really wobbly on this table too. But as you guys can see, S22 appearing to be just a tad bit quicker, really nothing too crazy. As far as your 3D Mark scores go, just to show you guys, and there is a difference with the gaming on these two phones, but if you guys want to see, you do get better performance when it comes to the Wildlife Extreme, almost 15 frames, almost 8 frames, and then you can see 7 to 19, 6 to 11 here. Let's go ahead and hop into PUBG here. Alright guys, when it comes to gaming performance here, if you look at the graphics, we can still play PUBG at 90 frames versus only 60 frames on the A56. And then again, we will get overall better graphic performance when it comes to pretty much any game. So Genshin, whatever, you will have definitely a slightly better gaming experience on the S22 Plus here for sure. I don't really have any heating problems with this A56. It really has been pretty cool so far. So This Exynos processor, I rarely get to experience the Exynos processors, but when I do with the S24 FE, the A56 here, they do a pretty good job. But if you are someone that's a gamer, the games will be much better optimized on the S22 Plus. So there are a few things to note about the software. You actually do have Galaxy AI on the S22 Plus, so you will see a lot of the AI features are here. Now, you do have a kind of watered down version of Galaxy AI, so that means all the features are not here on the A56. But you do have stuff like Object Eraser, the best face, custom filters, auto trim, and then you read aloud, AI select. They both have the circle to search as well. So just do note that you will get more AI features. So if you want stuff like that, live translation and stuff like that, call assist, then you definitely will go with the older flagship here. But besides that, the only thing that's different about the software is that you do get Samsung desktop support with the S22 Plus. That is not going to be available with the A56. Let's check out the speakers side by side. We'll start with the S22 Plus. So you definitely have more bass on the A56 here, but the sound is very muddy compared to the S22 Plus. It just has a more clear, more crisp sound, but it is lacking in bass though, the S22 Plus. A lot of the whole S22 series speakers are, not that great, but yeah, if I was to pick a speaker, I would still say the S22 Plus. You could just tweak it a little bit with the equalizer. But yeah, the speaker on the A56, it does sound like kind of cheap. That's the best way I can describe it. So it's not a bad speaker, just it doesn't sound on par with like a flagship speaker. But yeah, so it is a mid-range phone, right? So let's talk about the fingerprint scanner. This is another like small little area that you will notice here. And you have an optical fingerprint scanner, which works perfectly fine, but the S22 has the ultrasonic one, so it's a little bit faster. You'll notice that you can lightly tap it, it'll go right in. With the A56, you kind of have to tap it and hold it a little bit, and then it'll go right in. This is the area where a lot of people will, think about getting a older flagship here over a mid-range phone because they're, kind of close in price, is the cameras. So the S22 Plus has a 50 megapixel standard. It actually has a dedicated telephoto lens at 3 times. It is a 10 megapixel lens, and then you also get up to 30 times zoom. 12 megapixel ultra wide, you can shoot in 8K 24, and then you also have a 10 megapixel selfie that can shoot in 4K 60. Now with the A56, you also have a 50 megapixel standard, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and then you also do have a 5 megapixel macro. So no telephoto lens, and this goes up to 10 times zoom. It shoots in 4K 30 on the front and back with a 12 megapixel selfie. The thing that you will probably notice here is the actual zoom shot. So when you actually punch in, you'll notice that the A56 doesn't do as good of a job in some shots than the S22 Plus. So check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Alright, so if you guys are, worried about battery life or curious, the A56 actually has very good battery life. It's actually got a bigger battery at 5,000 milliamps versus the S22's 4,500 milliamps. It actually charges at 45 watts, just like the S22 Plus here. The only thing here is that it does lack wireless and reverse wireless charging, but screen on time has been excellent on the A56. The S22's battery life is pretty good, but I would say if your biggest concern is battery life, the A56 does have much better battery life. It's very noticeable. Yeah, especially for like a lighter user, the A56, it has been very impressive since I got it. So overall, it really depends on what you're looking for, guys. So be sure to let me know what you guys think. Be sure to put your request down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.